most exciting to welcome all of you on behalf of RC14 of IAPT, uh, basically, which is Kerala based, to this online panel discussion on uh, quantum mechanics and um, on physics education in general, which on ways of absorbing or tuning physics education to include the uh, needs of the quantum revolution that we all see happening around us. So this being the year of International Year of Quantum Technologies, as has been declared by UNESCO, it is uh, most appropriate for IAPT to hold such a session. And we are thrilled to have an eminent group of panelists to discuss this with us, who include Professors P.C. Deshmukh, Shyam Anwane, B.P. Singh, Vandana Luthra, and Prathul Desai. And we are most happy to have our president of IAPT, Professor Rahul Walia, to moderate this session. In fact, it is the relevance of the session need not be overemphasized in that it is about 125 years since quantum mechanics have broken into the 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 thoughts of physicists and even beyond physicists, a general, science enthusiasts. What is most exciting about it is that despite having been with us for 125 years, which is almost 5 or 6 generations long, even now the excitement about quantum mechanics, the puzzles that are or even the puzzles that keep popping up during the course of its development, many of them are still with us, and and it is in this context that we are looking at quantum mechanics at its you know, uh, at a period when it has been with us for more than 100 years. So it is a pleasure to welcome all of you to a thrilling session of discussion. And let me once again welcome Ahu Walia to moderate this session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor Madhu. Thank you for opening it. I'm very happy today with you this evening. Namaskar to all, and my special good evening to the worthy panelists of today's program. I think we are witnessing a kind of a celebration and a sense of anxiety for the future also when we are celebrating 100 years of the quantum mechanics. And it is but natural that at IAPT we should discuss how quantum mechanics is going to impact the course of the curricula in the schools and colleges. So it is in the spirit of that we are having this panel discussion. I hope there is no double voice coming. That you all are muted for the time being, as long as one is speaking. So what we decided was that we should have a panel discussion on tuning physics education in India to enhance and embrace the quantum revolution 2.0. We are already in the midst of what you can call as quantum mission of the country. I think it is worth more than 6,000 crores. So there is a lot of expectation also that we will be leaders in the quantum technologies which are going to emerge. Uh, so for this, we requested uh, our very eminent panelists to join us and discuss this uh, at length. And that is why this session is of 2 hours, not of just half an hour or something like that. That what we should really be doing in the near future as far as IAPT is concerned, and how IAPT can also contribute to this kind of a mission uh, of the country. The topic is very clear, and the agenda is also very clear that we will listen to our panelists. What we have done is we have divided this panel discussion into 5 rounds. And in each of the round, we will be posing certain questions to the panelists, and we will be seeking their what you call opinion, expertise, and what you can say the direction which they can give to IAPT in this particular aspect. And each panelist is very, very distinguished in his or her field. So let me formally introduce them. We have Professor P.C. Deshmukh. He is a former professor from IIT Madras. He was also at IIT Tirupati. He was also at IIT Mandi, very near to Shimla, where I am actually am at present. He is the author of one of the most modern books of quantum mechanics internationally. Quantum Mechanics, Formalism, Methodologies and Applications. Currently, Professor Deshmukh is at SUB University, Bengaluru, as a senior professor and the mentor of their programs. Uh, I remember last year, Professor P.C. Deshmukh, in fact, curated a very interesting program on disruptive technologies, which was all based on the role of quantum mechanics itself. Then we have Professor B.P. Singh, a very senior professor. He's a nuclear physicist. He is from Aligarh Muslim University. He has a very vibrant nuclear physics group, experimental, at Aligarh Muslim University. And I really enjoy his YouTube channel, on which he keeps on writing from time to time beautiful short articles as well as videos. Then we have Professor Shyam Anwane. He is the president of Sub RC Vidarbh of the IAPT. He is at Nagpur and he is teaching Shivaji Science College as head of the Department of Physics there. He is a very popular MOOCs expert, and I think you must have enjoyed his courtesy when he shared tickets of his MOOCs with the IAPT members. He has, and his team in RC Vidarbha has given a new way of running a typical regional council. And we are very happy to have him on this panel also. Then we have Professor Vandana Luthra with us. Ma'am is very well known speaker in our circuit of IAPT. She is a professor at Gargi College, Delhi University. And lately, I think she has been one of the most active persons in the quantum awareness programs, particularly around quantum computing. Uh, we have been having the benefit of Professor Vandana in initiating very many other programs also. These days, she is also coordinating IAPT DSM Award program. She is one of the IAPT DSM Award winners also of the IAPT. So I am very happy that she is with us today here and will be helping us in this particular program. Then we have another very distinguished person with us. He is Professor Pruthul Desai. In fact, he was the one who got the curtain raiser of this monthly uh, International Year of Quantum Science and Technologies raised. Thank you, Professor Putul. He is principal of an autonomous college, which is uh, a science college at Surat. And he is also secretary of RC07 Gujarat. Uh, he has a lot of interest in curriculum development because he is in an autonomous college. He has everything within the parameters of his college that he has to think about how to bring improvements in the curricula also. And I think I am happy that he has joined us today here in this particular program. Then we also have the master of this particular session, Professor Madhu, who is from Kerala, and he has been the secretary of RC Kerala. He is a very active member of IAPT and has been conducting very frequently workshops, and he has a lot of interest in theoretical physics, particularly. So I'm very happy to welcome each one of you, sir and madam. Uh, I hope that we are going to have a wonderful time for the next almost 2 hours. So let me come to the first part where we will try to set the stage. And the first question which I want to pose, and I will start with Professor Deshmukh right now. What does the quantum revolution 2.0 mean for India? And why is it essential to tune physics education to embrace this revolution? Professor Deshmukh.
Namaskar, everybody. Good evening. Very delighted to be hosted by Professor Madhu. I saw his college in the background in the video and remembered my visit to his college almost exactly 5 years. I think it was on February 27 that I visited Madhu's college in 2020, if I remember right. Now, greetings to all my colleagues on the panel and everybody who is at this meeting. Professor Ahluwalia brings up a very important point, which is our preparedness for quantum 2.0. I have to say that we as a country were very much a part of quantum 1.0. Our country made a tremendous contribution to the early years of quantum physics. The decade between 1920 and 1930 is when quantum theory was developed. And we had great contributions from C.V. Raman, Satyendranath Bose in those years, and also Meghnath Saha. What is disturbing is that after the tremendous participation and contribution in the first decade between 1920 and 1930. We did not seem to keep the edge with us. I'm sure there were great contributions from India. There were great contributors, some of whom are being referred to and their works are being celebrated at this IAPT meeting, like the works of Professor George Sudarshan and so on. So there were, of course, many other contributions in later years also. Some of which are so important, including Sudarshan's work, which one wonders why he was not awarded the Nobel Prize, and it is a controversy which will be debated for a long time to come. Nonetheless, I think we have not quite kept ourselves at the frontiers in the next several decades, and we probably lost the advantage which was given to us by Raman and Bose and Saha. At least not to the extent to which the initial push was given by these stalwarts. What has happened, I think, is the education, and in particular physics education in colleges and universities, has suffered enormously in the last many decades. Easily in the last 6, 7, 8 decades, I think education has suffered, much to the dislike of C.V. Raman. All the universities in India did not get sufficient opportunity. Opportunities and resources were concentrated in some of the premier institutions, the CSIR labs, the IITs, for example. And in a country which is one of the largest resource of human intellect, we did not provide sufficiently challenging education in most of the universities, except the top institutions like TIFR and some of the IITs and so on. Where also it could have been better, it's a different matter. I think our immediate task to meet Quantum 2.0 is to revamp the education system in all the universities in India, all the colleges affiliated to all the universities, and raise the bar in a very big way. There is a resistance to this, partly because, and I see this resistance even in some of the premier institutions, people who are schooled over these last 60, 70 years of somewhat not good enough an education system, are reluctant to change it in a big way, in a sudden way, because they think that it will be impossible for the students to cope up. I beg to differ on this. I will like to submit that our students have much more capacity than what we think they have. We do injustice to their capacity by not challenging it. It leads to other consequences which have a negative societal impact because minds are not engaged in productive thinking. But the biggest price we pay is that we do not do as well as we actually can. Now, there is no point lamenting over what happened over the last 5, 6, 7 decades. Our task is to change the education system in a big way. And that will be possible if teachers, which is us, as members of the Indian Association of Physics Teachers, I think the onus is squarely on us. It is not on the university administration. It is not on the head of the department. It is not on the vice chancellor. It is not on the UGC or NCRT or anything. Yes, they also have to take major responsibility. But I think the primary responsibility, the primary onus is on us. We should want our students to excel. The greatest joy of being a teacher is to see your students do better than you and see them do better than everybody else in the world. Now, if we want our students to excel so that they make a name for themselves, we have to work really hard, raise the bar, and give them a quality of education which will push their capabilities so that they can be the leaders in the world. I will stop here so that I can hear other panelists, but we can pick up the discussion later.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Deshmukh, for giving us a kind of a ground to work upon. Now I'll request Professor B.P. Singh. He is actually in a premier university of the country, and it's a kind of an autonomous institution. And I think it has played a leadership role in physics curriculum also in the past. Professor Singh, I have this very simple question which I would like to pose to you. How do you think the Indian education system can prepare students for the emerging quantum technologies and their applications? Do you see some hope in the future? As Professor Deshmukh said, that we should not really lament on what has happened in the past. How do you see future emerging in the light of these changes which are happening very fast? Professor Singh.
Okay, so thank you, Professor Ahluwalia. And first of all, I would like to thank, of course, to Professor Ahluwalia and Dr. Madhu for organizing this session. Rather, it is really an important kind of session that we have started this discussion after the government has initiated this national quantum mission, uh, national mission for quantum technology of which is for the tune of something like 6,000 crores. And I think Professor Deshmukh has already mentioned almost all the points which are required to be mentioned over here. And as you mentioned earlier, that Aligarh Muslim University is a premier university, and it is quite old in the sense that the university is more than around 100 years old or so. And from the very beginning, this when the quantum mechanics subject was basically started, and in our department, the teaching of this quantum mechanics has been initiated. Until now, we are teaching various courses over here. And And regarding the colleges at different places, you know the status of the colleges very well. In different colleges at various places, you know that there is a lack of teachers in the colleges, there is shortage of teachers, and how the different 5 or 6 subjects are being taught at MSc level or undergraduate levels by 2 teachers in the full courses. I mean, at many places there are 2 or 3 teachers there. But in our university, for example, we have a sufficient number of staff. And regarding your how to prepare the student point of view, I will mention that this currently, I mean, what we have is that this what you call as a quantum mechanics is introduced at the undergraduate or postgraduate level, basically. And often what is being taught is purely in the abstract way or in the mathematical form. And though I'm basically an experimental nuclear physicist, but for the basic level students, we also teach the students at the graduation level, and we have particular syllabi, and you need that know that you have to cover the syllabi and all that. So when you have a mathematical form of teaching, when it is being taught in mathematical form, and then making it like intimidating to the students and but you have to prepare the students for the quantum technologies, and in that sense the basics becomes very very important. Okay, unless you have basic. So India, or from the Indian point of view, universities, colleges, they need to have some multi dimensional approach or something like that. And for that in my opinion, that the quantum concept should be introduced at a early age, not at UG or PG level. Maybe at the early age, we can introduce various kind of courses which are relevant to the quantum ideas, maybe at the high school or at 12th class, like the wave particle duality, superposition. They should be taught not just in the for the sake of interference diffraction, but they should be taught in terms of the quantum perspective. So there may be some at the 12th class or maybe 10th class, not at 10th class, maybe 12th class, there may be some simple, I mean, experiments which can be simulation experiments can be there. So which can help students understand the the philosophy behind this quantum mechanics. So, and this is not in India only. When we are talking about Germany and China, I was reading in some newspaper or maybe some magazine that Germany and China has already initiated the quantum physics at the high school level or at intermediate level. And I think India should also look for that, and they should also, I mean, what do you call it, Carlos? They can also initiate this kind of things. So experimental learning is also essential rather than just theoretical teaching of various courses and all that. So we need to have some introduction of some hands-on experiments in the various curriculum. And I think this there at some places there are few experimental facilities available, but in many places the facilities for experiments are not there. So at many places like in NITs or IITs, they have the good infrastructure. Maybe at very central universities, they have better infrastructure. So they can start initiating some kind of hubs, which can be called as quantum hubs and all that. And so that a student can access the real computing platform in terms of the quantum computing platforms, all that. So this quantum programming base may be introduced at this stage so that students can learn how to apply the quantum mechanics. So application point is also important, not only this theoretical teaching and all that. So for that, I mean, there may be some collaboration with some industry also that can be initiated, and whatever industries or maybe some leading institutions, they may help, I think, to give you to the student the real exposure of various kind of what you call as quantum application, quantum technology, and these things. So for that, one thing which the universities are lacking is that industry and academia collaboration is almost very at a very negligible level. So this industry, academic and academia or universities collaboration has to be started in some way or the other, so that the educational programs are compatible with the requirement of the industries, and so that the students will be in demand once they know, I mean, they are experts in this particular subject. So they will also be useful for the industry, and there will be demand for that, and they will get jobs as well. And then we also need to have there are some many, I mean, young students are also starting some starts up, I mean. So in those starts up, students can get, I mean, attached to them, and they start through the university system, so that they can work for that, or they can absorb the quantum materials, or the train those students as well. Because if you only have the teaching, it doesn't matter, because you have to go for the technology level. And the quantum mission basically tells you to go for the technological point of view, so that your the what you call as a quantum cryptography, all these things, quantum computing and quantum communication, they will be important only when you have a better understanding of the technical or technological point of view. So at engineering college, by the way, I will discuss at engineering college, you know that at only the first year, or maybe up to second year, some basics of quantum mechanics are taught. And in the university system, not in the engineering college, up to MSc we teach quantum mechanics, but rather there are no quantum computing kind of systems which are there over there. So we need to have some simulation experiments, or whatever facilities we can have, they should be enhanced in order that I mean, we
So
can cope with this kind of
thank you,
system.
Professor Singh. I think you have pointed out on three fundamental things.
Yes.
One is that you have underlined the human infrastructure which is not available in the institutions. We may
Yes.
have very good buildings, but if the human beings or human resource is not available, we cannot run the things.
Definitely.
Second thing you underlined is the uh, making of quantum hubs in institutes of national importance, in which all central universities, NITs, and IITs actually fall. And this is
Yeah.
the third thing which you have mentioned is again very, very crucial and important. And that is having internship programs with industry for the students at all levels. I think
Yeah.
with this, we can carry this further. And I would invite now Professor Anwane, who is, uh, as I told you, he's a MOOCs expert. He believes in this digital technology to take knowledge to the people, not just across the classroom, but beyond that uh, in the international arena, which is without boundaries. So my question to you is, what are the key challenges in incorporating quantum concepts and technologies into the existing physics curriculum in India? Should we have a bottom-up approach or top-down approach or some kind of a spiral approach? What kind of you know uh, procedure we should really adopt so that we can really uh, take care of the kind of implementation delays which may be there? Professor Bhole in his chat has remarked that it takes years and years to implement things in our country. How can we have that kind of a uh, fast-paced, activity so that things may move much faster? We would like to have your views on that.
Thank you very much, sir. I should appreciate Professor Ahluwalia, sir, for leading such an important issue for discussion. I would like to express my gratitude to Professor Madhu for involving me here. Sir, I am teaching to undergraduate students and postgraduate students. And we are teaching quantum mechanics in a very traditional way, wherein we begin with the basic photoelectric effect and black body radiation. This is for the background they have learned is Bohr's theory and all that. That is a bit different approach, not exactly quantum approach. I face a problem that we are teaching this subject in BSc final year and somewhere in MSc 1 and MSc 2. After educating students with classical mechanics, Newtonian mechanics, and some basic elements in that arena, what happens when we take this quantum mechanics for learning? They are in final year because they are supposed to know fundamental things before learning what we call this as modern physics usually. What happens going up to the application of Schrodinger's equation in hydrogen atom? We are little fed up with the syllabus, and that is only in one semester nowadays. That becomes a very cryptic thing for students to get involved in the discussion of hydrogen atom and solving differential equation for that purpose. Similarly, solving differential equation for quantum harmonic oscillator and all that becomes really challenging. Now, if we want to think in view of applying this to budding students, we should take the top-down approach. I feel that it should be taught immediately in BSc first year in this situation, and we should not talk about the traditional way, the way we are teaching quantum mechanics nowadays. We should go in form of operators method, and they should learn basic things. A couple of units can be devoted to the techniques for handling the operators method, and then they will be able to reach to those points where it goes for technological applications. So my suggestion, my contention is that we should not go in the traditional way we go for teaching quantum mechanics. And I'm really happy that on this platform of IAPT, we are discussing this type of issue at this moment, wherein in our universities, it is very far away discussion. So I feel really very blessed to be associated with you all through this IAPT. So I would like to emphasize on the non-conventional way we should tackle to educate the budding students with this quantum approach.
Thank you, Professor Anwane. And it's great that now you have brought in a very interesting idea into the picture. And that is that instead of spending a lot of time in traditional way of teaching quantum mechanics, looking at the way quantum technologies are developing, where we are finding that people are supposed to do, say, coding for quantum computing, and those ways which are amenable to computers, can we really make use of those kind of formalisms to teach quantum mechanics in, say, undergraduate classes instead of following some other approaches? And I think you have underlined that what kind of a formulation of quantum mechanics we must really follow so that we find that our students are getting prepared for the future. Particularly, I think there is one more worry which I would like to underline at this particular stage. People are saying that we have a big mission which is there. We require quantum workforce. From where it is coming? My worry is this. Most of the times we say that the most part of the cake will be taken care of by technology students. Whereas our students who are studying science at the undergraduate and PG level, they will be left high and dry, and they may not have very many employment opportunities also available. My worry is this. And at this stage, I would like that we should ask our honorable participants sitting here to raise their hands, and maybe they can ask some quick questions, and we will try to accommodate their views also here. Anybody, please raise your hand and we will call you immediately. So I'm waiting for the hands. Otherwise, I will proceed further. Or you can just call me and I'll take care of you. So I think at the moment, there are not very many people who are ready to ask questions. So let me go to the next round. Next round actually focuses on curriculum and pedagogy. I think already in the first round, some indications have been made in this particular direction. And the first question which I would like to ask is to the panelists, what changes do you propose in the physics curriculum to incorporate quantum concepts and technologies? And how can these changes be implemented in 3 levels? For me, school is very important. That is at the secondary level. Undergraduate and PG levels are definitely very, very important. And I would like to invite here Ma'am Vandana Luthra to give her take on this idea. And there is a reason that I am requesting Ma'am Vandana to really give her views on this. The reason is that she is in Delhi, number one. And whenever there are certain changes which are taking place in curricula, it first of all echoes in the corridors of Delhi University. And whenever some groundwork is done, it is very easy to find people from there and they go and try to really frame curricula also. I think in national education policy, it is very important that how it is being done at the national level. So, ma'am, I would like you to please tell us what is your viewpoint from the capital of the country and in what way we should really try to address this very important part of this discussion on curriculum and pedagogy for bringing in the quantum revolution 2.0 nearer to our students. My emphasis is particularly our students studying in undergraduate colleges and the university departments.
First of all, namaskar to everyone, and thank you so much for providing this opportunity. Sir, this is such a meaningful initiative by you and IAPT, and I'm also thankful to RC14, Professor Madhu and Professor Udyanandan for organizing this kind of a platform where we can deliberate on the issues which are the need of the hour. And also, it is a chance to learn from the co-panelist also. Am I audible, sir?
Yes,
Am I
yes, ma'am.
audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is a chance to also learn from the co-panelist also, and that is also a wonderful opportunity. So in this regard, I would say that these topics have to be seamlessly integrated into our own existing topics also. That is one thing which can be readily done. This can be done at senior secondary school level also, high school level also, at undergraduate also. When we are talking about quantum revolution 2, it is providing a lot of challenging as well as opportunities. And it is a chance for us to regain our glorious past, which was there in the beginning of the quantum revolution 1. So, how it can be incorporated into different already existing curricula is that suppose we are teaching a topic like matrices. So, after telling to the student, and which they learn in their secondary school also, after telling them that this is the basic concept about a particular topic, it can be extended to quantum related topics also. Like quantum gates can be represented by matrix representation. So after telling about the basics, it can be extended to applications also. Same way when we are talking about linear algebra or we are talking about probability, all these are the underlying concepts which are needed for quantum fields also. Same way in when we are talking about undergraduate level, simulations will play a very important role. So, experiments based on simulations can be added because the infrastructure required for quantum technologies is not affordable, as we already discussed, that either there has to be hubs for that or there has to be collaboration with the industry, because many industries are already offering these on cloud platform, like IBM is offering Qiskit on the cloud platform, AWS, Amazon, these are also offerings, same way as the Google. So in this particular regard, collaboration with those so that our students can utilize cloud-based applications as experiments can also be introduced in this regard. Other than that, there are subjects like nanoscience and nanotechnology. In that, quantum dots are playing a very important role. Or when we are talking about other kinds of qubits, when we are talking about superconducting qubits. So our students read about superconductivity in one of the papers. So there it can be extended to how superconducting qubits are being manufactured, what are the basic principles underlying behind that. Same way is the case with other kind of qubits which are being manufactured. So there can be a linkage of different topics to the existing or emerging technologies, and that for that sake it can be extended to any other field also. And other than that, there can be standalone papers which can be introduced at a certain level, seeing the prerequisites that these students have already learned these many basics in their other levels, and then there can be standalone courses also which are being, I think, introduced also in some of the central universities as well as in state universities as a elective paper or otherwise. So I would like to say up till this. Thank you.
Ma'am, there was one question which I wanted to ask you specifically, and that was this: that what do you see? Are there any kind of, murmurings happening around in the corridors of UGC or the committees which were formed to develop choice-based credit system? Have anybody really applied his or her mind in really bringing all these concerns which are being shared by the worthy panelists in this discussion?
Yeah, there are some propositions for some of the papers being introduced as elective papers, but still there is a lot of, say, murmuring on who will teach this paper, who is going to have expertise, and all those things are also being discussed on few platforms. And I think anything which comes new takes some time in order to get matured. And I think it with the passage of time and with the passage of these kind of platforms, this will get more, I think, pronounced in coming times.
So I think with this, thank you very much. I would like to say one thing which you have really highlighted very beautifully in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And that is this, that when it comes to embracing, say, new technologies, new ideas, one of the first reluctance which happens is the level of the teachers itself when they start saying, who is going to teach this course? I mean, we may not really bring teachers from outside. And this underlines also, the capacity building programs among teachers also to teach these kinds of courses. I think that's a very important part. And maybe IAPT can play some kind of a role in it, because in the last 1.5 years, I have been seeing that the number of ideas which are nowhere being talked about in the country have happened on the platform of IAPT itself. Like, for
That
example,
is right.
schools, maybe it's very challenging to tell students about quantum computing, superposition, entanglement, etc. But there is an effort which is there. So thank you very much. Now I
Thanks a
would
lot.
like to really bring Professor Puthul Desai here for this. And Professor Desai, because you are at an autonomous college, you are in fact making your own curricula. So if that is the kind of thing, how do you propose to really bring that kind of a change uh, in uh, uh, in the and the question is very simple, that how can we use innovative pedagogy such as experiential learning, problem solving, gamification, and coding to make quantum physics more engaging and available to students in undergraduate, in schools, and in universities. Uh, I would like your views on that, Professor Pruthul. Please.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. I would like to thank Dr. Madhu, Dr. Udayanandan, and Professor Aluwalia, sir, for giving me this opportunity to express my views on this very crucial and important topic. Sir, I would like to add one or two points to what has been discussed and my experience.
See, I believe that, for any introduction of any of these topics, we need to not only involve students, teachers, but also management, the persons who are running these schools and colleges. The reason is that, whenever we organize any teachers training program for school teachers, so it is like these school teachers are generally not allowed to, take. They are not allowed duty leaves. They will, if at all we have to organize, we have to organize it during Sundays. So, in my opinion, we not only involve teachers, students, but also management will play a very important role in allowing teachers to be part of such programs, allowing teachers to develop their ideas about such new topics. So that is something which, in my opinion, is extremely crucial. As far as simulations and computational tools are concerned, they do definitely add up to the way we teach quantum physics. And I still believe, I belong to this old school of thought that we need to introduce this subject. We need to have a small separate paper on history of physics, and maybe as an additional material we can give students papers of American Journal of Physics as projects and seminars. So in AJP papers also, there are many beautiful experiments that can be done at school level as well as college level. So these experiments, if we can involve students and give it to them and then make them perform in the lab, probably I think we will add up to the teaching of quantum physics. And computational physics, of course, showing various, for example, hydrogen atom, then, p orbital, s orbital, showing them on, screen, allowing them to fiddle with various parameters will definitely give them a more sense of the subject, which usually students find it more drab because of its inherent counterintuitive nature and lots of mathematics involved. So I think it has to be a close integration of various computational tools. At the same time, as teacher himself or herself has to be aware. And what we have tried to do in our college is what ma'am was saying, that topics like linear algebra, probability, matrices, now we ask our mathematics teachers, whenever they discuss maths in the class, they should give few examples related to physics and tell the students, see, this is something that you will come across when you are learning physics. So I feel that we need to have a closer integration between physics and maths teachers. That will also help in introducing these topics at school, maybe even college or postgraduate level.
So thank you very much. Actually, what I was looking forward to from Professor Pruthul was something that you are an autonomous college. Am I right, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So do you really see towards your affiliating university itself to give you a curricula, or you still enjoy the kind of freedom which can really help you to innovate on the curricula being taught in the autonomous college itself? Because
yeah, our university fortunately has given us full freedom. So we design our own curricula.
so
So
can we
from
really
next year
see,
onwards, we will be offering these, elementary introduction to quantum technology as one of the electives for the
so
students.
can we see your college as a kind of a lab for developing curricula, and IAPT becomes a kind of a collaborator in that?
Yeah, I would love to, in fact, have it.
Okay, all right. So thank you very much. And I think I will stop here in this round and once again invite our participants here who are waiting for raising. So I would like to bring Professor Arvind Kulkarni. Please unmute yourself, sir. And or maybe, yeah, please unmute yourself. Sir, unmute yourself.
I'm very happy to talk about it. I think I'm unmuted. You are able to hear, no? Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Now, first thing I would like to say is that I am independent of any college or university or IIT or NIT, etc. So I am somewhat of a free bird. This being a free bird allows me to make some comments. Our educational elephant is too big. Indian educational elephant is too big that you push it in any direction, it is not going to move any time better. It is not going to move. It is not going to move because its mass is very heavy, its inertia is phenomenal, and moving Indian educational system is like trying to move the Himalayas on which near which Professor Ahluwalia is sitting. So he knows about it. It is very difficult to move Indian educational elephant. And Pratul Desai supported me, and Professor Anwane also supported me directly or indirectly. I have been doing since last year. I have been doing pilot workshops in schools in Bangalore. We have finished 4 pilot workshops in introduction of quantum science to 9 standard students, English medium, and other mediums are also allowed. But then we speak mostly in English and rarely in Kannada, where it's possible. Well, we have completed 4 sessions covering about 200 students of standard 9, about 20 teachers, and something like 5 hours per student, 5 hours. So roughly about 20 hours we have completed. And our 5th pilot study is starting next Monday on 3rd on the in a 5th school in Bangalore. My observation over the last 4 pilot studies is that students are already about they are already about 25-30% knowledgeable about what is happening in quantum world. No, only 20-25%, and our job is to push it to them to about 65 to 70%. We have been able to do that roughly up to 60%. We have been able to push in about 5 classes. There are 5 other teachers of physics who work with me, and I need to mention their names later on. I can do that. I can send the whole report for those who are interested. This is number one. Second thing is trying to either start from the bottom or from the top. It is going to be very difficult. My suggestion simply is that from standard 9 onwards, we should offer separate courses, whether a university or a college or a state agrees with it or not, doesn't matter. From standard 9 onward means roughly 14 onward, there should be parallel courses available so that these can be done by the student. And as they keep doing their 9th, 10th, and 11th, they can do at their own rate and at their own quality. But the industry is not going to wait for us. Industry is they're in a hurry. They want a good quantum workforce, and we need to create this quantum workforce by giving separate independent courses along with either AICT approved or even otherwise. Okay, it is possible to do that, and that is what we should do. We should teach them the modern technologies, the modern science, and everything. That is not only quantum science, but quantum technology and quantum computation, along with computers. Everything is to be taught to them. Along with that comes artificial intelligence also. So
can
a
you
good
quickly
course, a
can you
private course
quickly
on
proceed?
artificial intelligence as well as quantum mechanics, starting at standard 9, that is approximately age 14 onward, will be a good trial for us, and we should pitch in that direction. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you very much, sir. It was great listening to you. And I'm sure that the experience and the pilots which you have done have lots of lessons. I wish that if you really hold a special session of your experiences with IAPT community, I think that is a wonderful idea which we should really try to take forward. So now we are in the third round. And here, once again, something was indicated earlier regarding teachers. And this round is actually focusing on teacher training and capacity building. And the first question, I'm going back to Professor Deshmukh, and I would like to really know from him how can we ensure that physics teachers in India are equipped to teach quantum concepts and technologies effectively? What kind of a solution you would like to really offer so that when a paper is given to a teacher in a college to teach or a university to teach, or maybe in a school to teach, they will not have this kind of an excuse that, oh, who is going to teach it? I cannot teach it. So we would like to really hear your thoughts on it. You have been, I think, a leader in many ways. Sir, your courses are very popular on the YouTube in NPTEL programs. So what kind of ideas we should carry to encourage people for this kind of a capacity building? Sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor Aluwalia. You are always very kind and generous, but let me ignore that. My strong feeling on this has always been that we have to be able to have faculty development programs throughout the country. And that is something which IAPT may be able to take a lead in organizing this. I think at least a few days of personal interaction is desirable in these programs. Even if for logistic reasons we decide to go for a virtual conduct, we will have practical challenges, but I think at least a few days of personal interaction is required. And we need a large number of frequent faculty development programs, because there are many teachers who are very capable, but they are not able to deliver to their capacity because they have never been exposed to dense teaching. I think a common point which has emerged from the points made by fellow panelists is that if you teach quantum mechanics in what everybody is referring to as a traditional way, you just don't have enough time to get the students speed up to what is really required to learn at their age. Given the rapid changes in science and technology, I think one has to have an accelerated educational program. Our teachers will have the capacity to deliver it, but they have never been exposed to this. And we should organize such faculty development programs wherein some experts can come and interact with the teachers, meet them face to face for at least a day or two, give them confidence that yes, you can do it. This is how you can do it. And share the contents with them. I think we are going to make a difference. On the other hand, I feel that if we don't do it, we have practically no chance of catching up. So this is, on one side, I feel uncomfortable about the possibility that we will not be able to catch up. I agree with Arvind that yes, we are a huge elephant. It's very difficult to change the inertial system. But the only way to change it is to give confidence to physics teachers, and this will not come automatically through video meetings and so on. You have to give them actual content that, see, if you, instead of teaching quantum mechanics in how you have done in the last several years, if you teach it in the following way, in 15 lectures, I can take you to quantum computing. or maybe 20 lectures. Somebody has to do it and show it, that this is how it can be done. And we will not spend time talking about, everything that happened in the history of the development of quantum mechanics, but hit the nail directly on the head as to what is quantization, how does it explain the laws of nature, what are the laws of nature, and how quantum theory is done. And if it is mathematics, be it so, you are the children of Aryabhata, learn it.
So I think, thank you very much. I hope I am audible, sir.
Yes, yes.
In fact, it reminds me of a very interesting situation which has happened in our country, which actually gives me sometimes a hope that things can be done. I remember that when computers were coming, personal computers were coming, computer science departments were being established in various universities, colleges, and the IITs, etc. The lead was taken by physics people. You will find at one point of time, a physics professor took up the challenge, and brought that kind of an infrastructure where India became a soft power also. I mean, that is actually possible. So I fully agree with you, Mr. Deshmukh. And I think this idea of accelerated approach, I think this is a very deep idea. I wish if you talk about it in an article somewhere for us to really understand fully the implications of the meaning of accelerated. There is in choice-based credit system a possibility of doing not just one major but two majors also. So is it possible that in this case, a student who does physics major, he is also having an opportunity to do a major in quantum technologies itself? I mean, those are the ideas which we need to really bring forward on the table. So thank you very much, sir. I think uh, this is a wonderful way. I would like to go to Professor.
Rekha has raised her hand.
Yeah. Yes. Ma'am, please unmute yourself and speak.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm really happy to, get enriched by all the inputs which our panelists have given. I agree the last point which Professor Deshmukh has raised, that we need to go for FDPs for teachers. Yes. And I just want to add that whether these FDPs can also have a component on paper question item setting and grading also, because something is wrong with our question paper setting and grading system, and that reflects on the teaching. So many of the places people are teaching only that much content which is expected in the question paper. For example, for years together, if you just take out some university question papers on quantum mechanics, basic papers, you will find that question number one, using the classical analogy of wave equation, obtain the Schrodinger's time dependent equation, or using the Schrodinger's time independent equation, obtain the Schrodinger's, very, very similar, or discuss Davis and Germer experiment, or discuss Pauli's exclusion. These are the stereotype questions, and another mistake which I generally, have observed in many of the places, that they say derive the Schrodinger's equation. I think the Schrodinger's equation itself is a principle and cannot be derived. So in FDPs, like for the teachers, I think these kind of points have to be highlighted, that what can be derived and what can be, obtained and what. So I many times Professor Ahluwalia keeps saying that, whenever we are having teachers workshop for designing question item, we want to stress the Bloom's taxonomy concept. So while designing FDPs, now since this particular point has been raised, RCs, I'm sure that some of the RCs will take up the need in designing such FDPs in collaboration with IAPT. And let us have at least a day devoted on question paper, question item setting using Bloom's taxonomy. Professor Aluwalia is very expert in this, taking such a session. And we have, I mean, we really have a person in the family itself. And also the grading of the question papers. This needs to be addressed at all levels. I think school, the +2 level or UG and PG levels also.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank you.
much, ma'am. And I think you have raised a very important point here because curriculum creation is one thing, curriculum delivery is also a very important, which is in the hands of the teacher itself. And lots of things should happen around in this. Now I'm coming to another question which is there. And I would like to really once again invite here Professor Anwane, because this question is something which is very close to the kind of work which he is doing beyond the classroom teaching. I know that. And this question is, what kind of training program and resources are needed to build the capacity of physics teachers to incorporate quantum physics into in their teaching? Professor Anwane, I would like you to really speak on this and enlighten us.
Thank you very much, sir. Actually, I would like to share a experience of my teaching very quickly. I have started a career-oriented course in Maple in our department, and whatever we are learning in the theory, those equations we are writing in Maple and solving them and using the plot features of Maple to plot the solutions of the differential equation and all kind of equations we are involved in. So there, what we are doing, we have used a concept of flipped classroom. In flipped classroom, what I have done, I have prepared some video lectures, uploaded it on YouTube channel, and I have circulated them. While coming for the class, students are supposed to learn at home and then come to the class. And there the interaction with the teacher is very, very meaningful. So this is called flipped classroom. So that can be adopted. And in continuation with what Professor P.C. Deshmukh has said, I would like to say that we should have an action plan to design a syllabus, one basic version, another cryptic version for this quantum revolution too. And then we can prepare topics and we can educate our own teachers. I mean, I'm talking about training of teachers through those MOOCs kind of courses. So designing a syllabus, basic and cryptic, we can plan for. And quantum mechanics, I think Richard Feynman has said, more you learn, more you get confused with quantum mechanics. So it is really challenging to handle quantum mechanics at large by teachers. So for this, physics people are already, I mean, physics teachers are already prepared with that. Some level we have already taught that, and we can, I mean, design a syllabus collectively, and we can create a repository of video lectures for teachers. This repository can be used by students also and by actual teacher interaction. Because as sir said, we need 15 hours to go to quantum computing level. So the basic things can be learned at home through video lectures, and teachers' interaction can be meaningful. And that is a way we can beat the challenge.
So thank you very much. Professor Anwane, you quoted Feynman. The other day I was reading one very interesting quote from another Nobel laureate.
Okay.
His name is W.E. Lamb, famous for the Lamb shift.
Okay.
And he said that understanding quantum mechanics is very difficult. But the best part of it is that it is very easy to apply. So that even if you don't understand the nuances of the depth of quantum mechanics, you can immediately go over to the problem-solving part in it.
So
And I think
top-down approach.
one thing which people have been saying once the Schrödinger equation was there, how it came, people didn't bother about it. They started applying it, and they used to say any third-rate physicist can do first-rate work by using and applying Schrödinger equation itself. I think you have really raised a very important point. I think there are a number of lessons which have really come up. One lesson is, as Professor Pruthul was saying, curation of those kinds of papers as a list for IAPT community, which they can pick up and on which people can build up their projects. This is one very important part.
Yes.
Second part, which is there, is this, that capacity building requires some kind of faculty development programs. And rather, I was hearing another voice in it, that is how IAPT can really take up this kind of a challenge. Can we really think of FDP programs, curriculum, if we have to do that, and bring in something which Professor P.C. Deshmukh is saying, that can we have some kind of an accelerated approach for our teachers itself? I think that will be wonderful for us. Now I am coming to the next round here, which is industry-academia collaboration. And I would like to go to Professor B.P. Singh to really come forward and say something. Just for a minute, sir. Professor Deshmukh has raised his hand. Yes, sir.
Yeah, before we get into the discussion on industry partnership, I wanted to add a comment on the previous discussion.
Yes, sir.
You very appropriately brought out what Feynman said, that yes, it can be applied easily. I will like to make some supportive comments in that direction. What makes it difficult to understand quantum mechanics is that we keep making an effort to understand it. So stop trying to understand it. Learn how to use it. The stalwarts have submitted that it is counterintuitive. Stop insisting that at some point it must appeal to my intuition. It doesn't connect with my experience. It is not even supposed to connect with your experience. It is a mathematical theory which is not designed to appeal to your intuition nor to your experience.
Exactly.
Come to terms with the fact that it is a very rigorous mathematical discipline, and the mathematics is very simple. It does not go beyond matrix multiplication, determining eigenvalues of matrices, and solving a second order differential equation with appropriate boundary conditions, which is first year physics or first year mathematics after high school. So this is what makes it very simple. And if you reject this idea and keep saying that I want to understand it the way I understand a cup of coffee, you will never make it.
Yes.
But if you accept that, yes, here is a theory which works and nothing succeeds like success. In 100 years, you are not able to find a single experiment which cannot be explained by quantum theory. And if you say that you want to understand it only if you can smell it or touch it, then you're never going to make it.
So thank you very much for these very, very cryptic remarks, I would say. I think they are very meaningful.
Yes.
And it supports this idea that let us really try to apply the things which we have learned and make a point.
Pruthul is saying
Yeah,
something.
Pruthul, sir.
I would like to add only to what Professor Deshmukh said. In 100 years, sir, we do not even have a single interpretation on which all of us agree.
Yes.
So he is absolutely right. Rather, let us try to apply it. I think that's the right approach that we all should have.
So I think now I will go to Professor VP Singh. And I will move to the next round here, and that is industry academia collaboration. Sir, you in your earlier discussion also said that this is something which is needed. So, is it that we are lagging in shaking hands with the industry, or industry is not coming forward to shake hands with us? Because maybe sometimes they feel that it will never go beyond, people coming, looking around, and then going back. So how can it be made more meaningful? So how can industry and academia collaborate, particularly in the context of uh, quantum education and research in India? And I believe that these big software companies have a lot of stake in it. How can they be brought around in floating internship programs for the students studying in undergraduate colleges or in PG institutions or even for school students? Sir, Professor BP Singh, please unmute yourself, sir.
Yeah, please. Okay, thank you, Professor Luvalia. And I just want to make one comment point regarding the previous discussion which was going on the faculty development program. And that is really very much needed at the moment. And again, there is a very famous saying that a well-trained teacher does not just teach; they basically inspire. So that is more important because we are looking behind the typical syllabi, teaching certain equation and all that, and going back. So now coming back to your point that regarding this industry and academia collaboration for promoting the quantum education or research in India, and basically the discussion we are making here, over here today is in terms of the fact that has already been advancement in the computer, this quantum computing at in the Western countries, and we are lagging behind in that at this stage. And the quantum computing, cryptography, or quantum material for that. So again, there is a requirement of collaboration between industry and academia in order to have a coherence between these two. But as you already have pointed out, and really there is a gap between university education and the industry requirement, or what industry needing that we are not being able to feed, and in basically particularly in quantum sector as well. So I mean again, as we some panelists, honorable panelists mentioned that we have to take lead in this quantum revolution. So we need to have some kind of partnership between research institution and the private industry. So this has already been mentioned over here. So again, earlier also I pointed out that we can establish some kind of joint quantum research centers or hubs, I mean quantum research hubs at some proper institutions which can be identified by when the IAPT like of system, IAPT like of uh, uh, the experts or some experts which are who are at various institutes or certain universities as well. And for that it will not happen otherwise unless we have some industry funding. So we need to have some funding for that kind of collaboration as well. So funding is also required, and for that again because this Google, Microsoft, ISRO, they all are been having this kind of technology requirement, so they may help. I don't know whether it will be really happening or not. So these kind of hubs can focus on especially the quantum computing, quantum material, and also the quantum sensors which are coming up. And this will basically bridge the gap. And another point which I just want to mention is that the institutes or university or the government may start the industry funded fellowship, like they can call it as quantum fellowship, quantum internships at their at their industry locations, where they can offer, I mean, fellowship for completing their PhDs, especially in the quantum technologies, and which can be sponsored by these kind of companies. And or I mean, then the summer internship program may also help for training to the students for the quantum startups which are there, and also and then at many national labs also which are where the for the university system, it is not easy to approach over there like ISRO or DRDO. So I mean, some kind of methodology can be initiated so that there can be some interaction between the experts who are there and the university people or the students who would like to, I mean, work in that direction. Or somehow, I mean, we can encourage the companies like this Google, Microsoft, or other people, so that they can provide free access maybe to various cloud-based computers. I mean, many people are doing that at the by some kind of payments. So, university system for the universities, I mean, it may be possible. It may be possible that this free access of the cloud computing can be taken from these kind of companies, and so industry academia collaboration is basically it will definitely help, and it is required also at the moment. It is rather the need of the hour, or I can say that it is very much necessary. So we have to combine this the expertise of academicians or the universities or with the industry funding as well. So that we can go for the real world applications, and again we can accelerate this the research in the field of quantum mechanics or computation or quantum innovation, things like that. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think what I will do now is I would like one of the panelists to respond to a very interesting question which has been raised. Professor Vandana, if you can really read that question in the chat. There is a question which says, I have doubts. It would be great if you can ask it from on my behalf. Apart from teaching, how can we adopt various potential assessment methodologies to evaluate students about their understanding and proficiency in quantum mechanics? Now they are coming once again back to the assessment which is needed to be done for the quantum mechanics and quantum technology preparation. Second part of it is in India, the universities like Indian Institute of Science in Bengaluru and IIT Madras already established such labs for quantum mechanics. Then how can we share the resources from there to colleges or universities which will be effective for students? We would like to have your thoughts, ma'am, from you on this. And I think the panelist is Hima Ravindran. So, ma'am, please unmute yourself and respond to this question.
Yeah, I will be responding to this question, but I would like to also make a comment on the previous question, very important thing which has been raised by Dr. Rekha. In that regard, it is a challenge to make questions which are unseen and unasked in the previous question. So I think in those FDPs, it should also be incorporated that how to make a good question paper, which is challenging as well as asking the questions at different levels. At the level of asking the concept, at the level of asking and applying it for a particular application also. So in this case, this will also lead to the question which is being asked by Dr. Hema, that assessment would also cater to what kind of problem we have set in. That problem set again can be set in three different modes. It can be judging the basic concept of the student, or intermediate one in which the concept is leading to an application, or the way forward in that direction, a forecasting of that particular concept for any particular, say, scenario or case study. So in that case, assessment, as we are all aware that assessments can be formative, summative, and it can be periodical assessments also there. So depending upon the type of question, one has to see the methodology for its assessment, and also the resources which are being developed by different leading institutes, different leading, say, hubs in this regard. I think 4 hubs have been created. Those are called thematic hubs on quantum technologies. So I think it should be a part or onus on them to also conduct outreach programs for the public, for the students, for the faculty as well. Because these are not kind of facilities which can be, say, generated or replicated. Even a single functional quantum computer, if it is established, that access getting even on cloud will depend upon the policy of that particular company. So in that case, it is more required that there is dialogue between those companies who are actually fabricating these kinds of infrastructure. And most of these companies are, I think, quite open in giving access to the students, because they also want that the more students use it, they will get hands-on on it. And in order to contribute, one has to always undergo a rigorous basic level. And by applying or by giving these kinds of access to the students, actually there is a capacity building on its own. So I think there is a critical requirement that there is a policy making on the outreach programs as well.
So I think, ma'am, you have answered both the points regarding those industry interaction, and you talked about that kind of a set of dimensions, which are there, which have been set in the country. I very strongly feel that sometimes our community doesn't come to know about these things which happen. And I wish if somebody can really start writing a one-page column in our bulletin, so that it is like, a news from the quantum front. Maybe some kind of a column can be started so that people start knowing that what is happening around in the country, in which direction they expect us to go. Let me share very frankly one thing with you. I was talking to Professor Arun Grover, who is former Vice Chancellor of Punjab University, Chandigarh. He was with the Professor Ajay Sood, who is basically advisor to the Prime Minister of India. And he is, in fact, very much worried about that he is not seeing any sign of such curricula getting floated in the colleges and the universities of this university, which will, in the universities, which will prepare our students to get on the bandwagon of this new revolution which is coming. We are not really preparing them. And this was the reason that we thought in IAPT that we should really start talking about it. Even the planners who are sitting on the top, they feel that there is some kind of an effort which needs to be made from the grassroots level. And how can we do that? I think there are lots of ideas which have come up. I know about IIT Ropar. There is an idea of a hub and spoke kind of arrangement which IIT Ropar is doing with the institutes around in that area. And this is mostly happening under skill development. But when it comes to the kind of quantum development, quantum technologies, we are finding that, at least I do not know, maybe I am ignorant about it. Sometimes we do not know that these things are happening. I think our community needs to be conveyed those kind of news. Maybe our WhatsApp group is very good for that. But I think if we can do it in our bulletin and or maybe on our channel of the WhatsApp itself, that will be a great idea. I think, yeah, ma'am, you want to say something, please.
Yeah, I just want to add that quantum journalism is something which can be taken up by the student, which does not require any resource otherwise in terms of infrastructure. Quantum journalism would be like reading the papers, where how the progress is being done, how it is being channelized, how there is a race for quantum, say, chips, how there is a race for these kinds of things which are happening in this field. So quantum journalism is something which can be easily taken up by the students as well as the faculty members in order to inform and provide outreach in a different manner.
Yeah, so I think that's a wonderful idea. I think science communication is very important part for the development of technologies also. And we also need to make aware not only our students about it, but even general public in the vision and mission of IAPT. It is enshrined that we are not just going to do things around physics, but we also need to go to the community and tell them what is happening, what is good for the community, how things are changing. So these community outreach programs is a very important part of the mission and vision of the IAPT itself. I think you raised a very important point, and I really loved this idea. Ma'am, please encourage somebody in your college, some group of students to write
That's
more
right.
reviews for
That's right.
IAPT bulletin itself. I think that will be a great addition.
Thank you.
I think,
Thank you so much.
yeah, please. So I am now almost at the end of questions. The final round which is there is, I will once again, request the panelists or the participants here that what are the takeaways which we can really carry from this discussion which we had today around the quantum, the evolution which is taking place and how we have to prepare ourselves for the various things which we need to really take care of. And I would like our participants to raise their hands and ask questions. It's very important. Questions are always important because questions really let us know what we do not know. And most of the times we do not know what we do not know. And that is very, very important part of whole of it. Professor Arvind is raising his hand. Sir, please unmute yourself and speak. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, I would like to, first of all, say that I would like to go in what is called as an alarmist mode. Alarmist mode, in a sense that there is already fire next door and we cannot worry about how to douse the fire. We have to go out and douse the fire. So the whole issue of bringing in quantum thinking is extremely important, and we should focus on that. I would like to remind this community of one story of Nikkei, Nike, Nikkei. The sports people. There was a coach, and a student was asking too many questions to the coach as to how the ball runs and all that. The coach stopped him, saying, "You just do it. Just do it." So now I feel that it is time for us to take quantum, just do it, and do not much discuss about its difficulty and its theoretical foundations, multiple interpretations, and all that. Otherwise, the industry will throw us out. If we want to connect to the industry fast, we need to accelerate our learning, as Professor Deshmukh said, and many in the audience accepted that we should go in an alarmist mode and start teaching students the quantum science. Just this happened when computers came around 2000 or 1998. We did not wait for the universities to pick up because, as I said in my last this one, we are a huge, big elephant, impossible to move. So the parallel courses started, and subsequently, university departments and engineering departments took up the quantum computing. So, like that, quantum and AI are two things that are burning up, and that we should bring into the force, and we should start giving parallel courses from standard 9 onwards or 13, 14 onwards. And I'm sure industry will receive this because they are more in need of quantum experts than the teachers are. So the teaching mechanism can wait. It can take its own million years to change over because of its inertia and of its inability to change. First of all, our learning system is not innate to our own culture. It is bought from elsewhere, and we are carrying the weight of that 60, 70 years of, Macaulay system, to which I am against. So we should start doing a parallel service of, teaching quantum courses, and we should make a beginning there. I would like to take an alarmist view, and I would like to justify it. Thank you.
So thank you very much, sir. And we would like to invite some very senior personalities who are in this discussion here. We have Professor Ramesh Babu, who is a very senior academician and a professor of physics from Kerala itself. And I know that he is here in this. Sir, may I request you to share your thoughts on what we have been discussing right now. Professor Ramesh Babu, are you able to hear me? Please unmute yourself and convey your thoughts to us.
Sir, I think he left.
Oh, I see. Doesn't matter. Okay. We have one thought which has come in the chat. One is from Professor Udyanandan. Rather, I would like that Professor Udyanandan, you should really unmute yourself. You are the one who created this panel discussion. And please share with us what you have in your mind, your thoughts about what we have discussed.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Actually, we can frame syllabuses to how to teach quantum physics at the school level. But I think after going through all these articles and journals, I could not find a proper way or a proper article to execute this one. As Professor Deshmukh was saying, there must be some 30-page or a 50-page document, which can be, I think it can be done by IAPT, so that we can execute that, or we can have, or we must actually, quantum mechanics has been taught in different ways in different universities and colleges. But executing all these things to school level, that requires a different approach. All these people have been saying simulations can be done, but actually how to teach, for example, how to teach uncertainty principle for the school level students, how to teach other quantum ideas, entanglement, etc., or qubits itself, it's very difficult. Therefore, there must be some model, there must be some documentary that must be prepared. But I could not see after referring, actually, Kulkarni sir was asking me to take some classes, but I was afraid to take the classes because I could not find a suitable article to do so. Thank you, sir.
Oh, that's great. And I think, fine. Ma'am, Vandana is raising her hand. Please unmute yourself, ma'am, and say.
Yeah, it is in response to Dr. Udya Shankar's Nandan's question. So there are some documents available which have been prepared for the school kids. I think last year Dr. Kulkarni had shared some of those documents. In that, it can be at a how to actually build upon in a very steady manner with the school kids. One has to be very careful with the school kids in a manner that without prerequisite teaching something to school kids is also sometimes maybe not advantageous. So in that regard, there are simulations like how to actually create a superposition using beam splitters. So in that regard, there are simulations which are available to give the concepts of superposition to the students. Same way, there are many other things which can be tailored in order to slowly grasp these concepts. And once these concepts are actually introduced to the students, they are on their own. They are very fast learners. Only thing which is required to them is that they should be given proper direction, as well as they should be given a relevant study material to begin with. After that, they are on their own. In order to practice these gates, Qiskit is giving, or the IBM simulator is giving a very good platform for students to learn. It is plug and play. But in order to appreciate the use of these gates, they need to understand also the classical gates, that how classical gates are different than the quantum gates. In order to make this differentiation, they need to understand that also. So we can have an accelerated approach, but the emphasis should also be there in the concept building alongside. This is my take on this.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
And actually, there are a few other comments also, which I would like to read. Professor Samishra Sahu says, we have got plenty of ideas to probe. Now we are getting ready to spread the awareness among teachers. Second is from Professor Bhanu Pratap Singh ji only. He said, establish a quantum task force to integrate quantum education into CBC, CBSC, ICSE, and state boards. Professor KG Bhole is saying, frame the action plan to be taken up by IAPT. I think these are great thoughts. Fortunately, these are now recorded also. They are available to us in the form of a transcript. Our IA companion is actually creating a summary of this discussion also. So ideas will not get lost. And let me assure you that IAPT will try to follow it. And for that, we require teams. And I think very seriously, I would like that we need to offer ourselves to work on those things. 1 point things, task force. Who is ready to really come forward to be part of that task force? This is very, very important. Action plan. Can we have a small team to really look forward to this kind of an action plan? Yeah, ma'am, you are raising your hand. Please tell, unmute yourself.
So I think the syllabi or the curriculum has to be curated in a manner so that there is a hybrid approach. Hybrid approach is that we are preparing our students for future also, as well as we are ready to take up the challenges which are very fastly changing. Like the updating has to be done on a very fast manner in some fronts. So there can be two different approaches, and there can be a hybrid approach to incorporate multiple factors into that.
Thank you. Another thing which I would like to add is this.
Yeah.
I have seen that in just for a minute, sir, that in American Journal of Physics, they have been publishing from time to time resource letters on certain topics. I remember there were few resource letters which were published on physics education research itself. There were some resource letters which were published on introduction of computational physics. I would like my community of IAPT to keep an eye on such things. We can also, come forward, as Ma'am Vandana said, that there was one document which was actually shared by Professor Kulkarni. Sometimes we lose these things. Let us really curate these things also so that these are available to us somewhere in some kind of a form. I think these are the tasks which we need to indulge in. Unless we do that, things may not happen. I would like to really invite some young university teachers who I'm able to see are sitting in this. Dr. Reshma, I hope you are hearing me. Would you like to give your thoughts on what you have really just heard? Are you there, Dr. Reshma? Please unmute yourself.
Hello, sir. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Please.
Yeah.
You can start your video also if you feel like.
I just, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, so I really like this session actually, and little confused with all the thoughts. Yes. Okay, let me say something. As sir said that we need to tell mathematicians to while teaching, to tell them uh, to give examples of physics where we can apply mathematics. So which is what we are doing is in a reverse way. So whenever we teach physics, we always tell them, okay, we need mathematics, and without that we cannot go ahead, right? So that was one of the concepts that I really liked. And so
yeah,
sorry sir, I'm a little confused with this, so if you can.
Don't worry, it's fine. So may I go ahead with somebody else? We have Dr. Nilanthi Rayan sitting here. Dr. Nilanthi, please unmute yourself and please tell us what you have learned here in this discussion. And can you please show your video also?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Good
please.
evening, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. It was a lot of light that was thrown. Being a teacher, I've also faced this challenge of making children understand whatever concepts we have discussed. And I think on the lines of what Ms. Vandana said, the approaches that she has said, having hybrid format, that actually helps, because we're not forcing students to finish the learning within the classroom setup itself. So a mix of something like MOOC courses where we can have self-paced courses will definitely help. And yes, as everybody's on the same page, we need to work to get this into school level itself, not just from 12th. I would say we can give some introduction at grade 10, 11, so that by the time they are in grade 12, we can give the next layering of the concepts, so that if they want to specialize in undergrads or postgraduates, they are well aware of what is it that they want to learn about.
Okay, thank you, Nilanti. It's very
Thanks.
fine. And now we have about 6 minutes. I will go back to the panelists now because there are no more questions as such. Please give your thoughts quickly in one sentence about it. I'll go to Professor Deshmukh once again. Please tell us, what do you feel, say in one sentence here around this panel discussion. Unmute yourself, sir.
Just do it.
Okay, good. Very good. Let's go to Professor VP Singh. Yes, sir. Your thoughts.
So in this all discussion, I have jotted down a few points. Number one, that this quantum education must start at early, I mean, this classes, maybe 10th or 11th, whatever it is, that has to be seen as per this requirement. A hands-on training is also essential. Second
Yes.
point. Third point I have noted down is industry academia collaboration is crucial. That is also very important. Fourth point regarding FDP, teacher training is also kind of priority, I will say. Not only requirement for the promotion and all that, it is a priority for this quantum mission. And the fifth point I have noted down is we need a national quantum roadmap as well. So that is what we already discussed regarding task force and all that. These
Thank
5
you.
points I have mentioned over.
Thank you very much. And Professor Pruthul, would you like to say something?
I would like to add to what Professor Singh said about academia, industry, and interaction with NEP in force. See, it is projects, industrial training, internships are now part of the curricula. So now with NEP, anyhow, all the colleges or academia will have to approach industries, and industries in turn will have to accommodate, allow students, either have a visit or maybe spend some time in the industry or in a virtual manner. But I'm sure NEP is going to bring a much closer association between academia and industry. So I think the need of the hour of interacting, as Professor Singh said, I think NEP will be a catalyst in this particular, manner. And I think that's how I feel that industry will be automatically roped in. And colleges, for example, in my college, I have about 40 students with doing their majors in physics. Now we are right now trying to figure out contact industries so that these students will be doing their internships and projects works in either industry or some national level institute. So we are already under that the process. So I'm sure other colleges, other institutes must be doing the same. So I think it's a NEP in that sense is a boon that's come at the right time, and maybe we'll all be benefited because of it.
Okay. Thank you very much. So, Professor Vandana, quickly, one sentence.
We have to do it and we will do it.
Sure. I think you completed the sentence of Professor Deshmukh that
Yes.
we have to do it and we will do it. That's great. I think we have Professor Anwane here. Professor Anwane, are you there?
Yes, he's there in the meeting.
Yeah, Professor Anwane, can you hear me?
I suggest we put a timeline. I suggest we put a timeline on what we are doing. That will bind us. Otherwise, nothing will happen.
Oh, yes. Very, very important part here, sir. Timeline should be there. No doubt about it.
Sir, Sanjay Sharma has raised the hand.
Yeah, Professor Sanjay Sharma, please. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Sir, like in one word, as Deshmukh sir said and Vandana ma'am said, we will have to do, we will do. Sir, sometimes we simply hesitate to come forward. Like there is a question of making a team. So at this moment, sir, please make a team like Vandana ma'am, Pruthul sir, and Mane sir, and with the guidance of Deshmukh sir and Arvind sir, with the available literature of secondary level, school level, first we take this task. We should make some proper manner literature for school level. And as Kulkarni sir said, timeline, okay, a month or 3 weeks, give some this type of time and make a team here also and just move forward.
Definitely, this is a very good idea. Sanjay ji, we too will together work on making teams. So you become first that team so that we can start making teams itself. I think that is very important. Without that, I think we have to have curation teams. We need to think in terms of syllabus drafting. We need to think in terms of what can be done in the labs. All those points have really emerged. And I'm very happy that Professor Udyanandan very kindly, allowed us to have 2 hours of discussion. There was no hurry in this discussion. You must have seen. We were very coolly sitting, talking about the things, making suggestions, listening to each other. I think that is the need. I think we are at the end of this wonderful panel discussion. Personally, I must thank RC Kerala who did it. Professor Benizira Begum is also sitting with us here in this discussion.
Yes, sir, I am here.
She is the secretary of RC Kerala. Ma'am, please unmute yourself and start your video and give us your thoughts about this panel discussion.
Sir, it was such an enlightening session, sir. It is the first time I am in a panel discussion, and I am really enjoying. Actually, we higher secondary teachers, our syllabus, our physics teaching are far away from even the basic concepts of quantum mechanics. We think quantum mechanics is not necessary for us actually, because it is not in the syllabus.
So maybe, ma'am, you are suggesting something, if it is not in syllabus, is not something which is not important. So we have to really go beyond our syllabus.
Yes. As Rekha ma'am said, we are training the students to answer some stereotype questions. We are not actually giving the chance for the students to get into the real concept of physics. We are in a rush to complete the syllabus. We are in a rush to prepare the students for the exams, to score marks, to get A+, actually like that.
Okay, I think you have raised your concern. Professor Vinod Kumar is also sitting here. Professor Vinod Kumar, would you like to add something to the discussion?
Yeah, I was hearing all the discussions put up. First of all, I will tell you that we are actually planning RC07 and FDP on quantum computing, starting with maybe the third volume of Feynman lectures, that is on quantum mechanics. So very quickly we'll go through it or ask the FDP participants to learn themselves and come back prepared, and then we will go one after the other the topics of quantum computing. Quantum technology is a big topic. It's a huge coverage of material science, chemistry, biology, pharmacy, everything is involved there. So it is not take the quantum technology as such for 15 days program. So we will plan for maybe some quantum sensor, then for focus on quantum sensing. If you are going for quantum computing, focus on quantum computing. Something of that focused area. We cannot take a broad quantum technology together. No, it is a quantum science. Quantum technology belongs to a quantum science, not just physics. So I think that is our commitment. We are planning maybe not like the earlier FEMN FDP. This time we are planning for a 15 days concentrated program, and we may incorporate many of the experts who are actually doing and they have an experience of doing quantum computing. And then
This
we
is
look
targeted
forward.
to which audience? School?
It is for the
Schools,
teachers,
colleges, or
physics teachers.
universities?
Basically, physics teachers are all basically MSc background they will have. So we assume that they have a background of at least quantum mechanics, elementary quantum mechanics during their MSc, and that level onwards. So quantum computing
I
itself
have a
is quantum
suggestion.
start.
I have a suggestion to give in this. Please make it open for students also.
Then there is a problem of this teachers sitting and discussion. The level will be slightly different if you have a mixing.
Maybe research students can be brought in.
Yeah, research students is as good, no problem.
Yeah,
research students can be incorporated, but not below the level of MSc or below that. So teachers, preparation of teachers for this mission. Because there's an advertisement of this is the right time. Now if you miss this time, then we are losing everything. So this right time that we must start either teaching at all levels of education, not only as Vandana was telling that you must have a journalistic approach. Probably journalistic approach will help with without much mathematics and technicalities to go to the level of school, where they should know the language, they know the way, what sort of technical language they have to face. So that way, I think it can be picked up. I'm sure that actually this is the right time and we are far behind. Many countries are already moved ahead, including many companies at the industry level also. They are coming forward. Our industry, I don't know why they are all our software industries, why they are keeping up, or whether they are in touch with the quantum mission of India or not. That also not very, very well known. No approach, no announcement is coming from either from the quantum mission or from these big giants of our software companies.
So thank you, sir. And Professor Udayanandan, back to you, please. Yes, and we are winding up now. I just take one opportunity to thank our panelists today. I think your wonderful thoughts have given us some kind of a agenda to work upon in IAPT. I think that is the biggest takeaway which a president can take from here, and maybe start talking about it in the community more vigorously. So, Professor Udayanandan, back to you.
Oh, so, Banasira. She
Okay,
will
sir,
wind up the
okay.
session. She will wind up the sessions.
Okay, right, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. It is truly an honor for me to express a vote of thanks to all present here on behalf of Kerala RC. Today's panel discussion on tuning physics education in India to embrace quantum revolution 2.0 has been an enlightening experience, and I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Professor Aluwalia sir, who was the moderator of this panel discussion, for making this possible. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So
I would also like to extend my gratitude to all the panelists for the valuable contribution. Professor P.C. Deshmukh, Professor B.P. Singh, Professor S.W. Anwane, Professor Vandana Luthra, Professor Rutul Desai, and also to Madhu sir. And P.C. Deshmukh sir pointed out that it is high time to think on an enrichment program for the teachers. Because we, the teachers, are not even aware of the changes, challenges that happens around us in physics, in industry, and in technology also. Then thanks to all the people participated the panel discussion. A special thanks to Udayanandan sir also. Okay, thank you all.
So Thank you,
Thank you.
Benazira. Thank you. And we can
you.
say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thanks.